Well, we've done it. We have gone through and continued our best of the best series. Now, if you remember a few months ago, we wanted to find out the best rallies in the game. I want to see the best gear and best armaments from the community. That's what we love to do. Well, now we're starting the Garrisons, baby. And what better way to start than with the Infantry Pincer Garrison? So we put out the APB. We called out everyone. We got hundreds of nominations. And now we're going to tell you who's got the best garrison in Rise of Kingdoms for infantry and smite.
Rallies lit up, marching right from the zone to the zone. I stay in control. Man of the people, all heart, no roll, no script, no throne, just rhythm and fire. Built for the push, never gonna tire. You feel that burn, and you already know we're locked in deep. This is Chatsky mode. This is Chatsky mode.
Hey everybody, I'm your boy War Daddy Chatsky. I do these videos all the time, and I love to do unique types of content where I get with the community and I do call to action stuff. If you want to join that community, you can hit my Discord link in the description. That's where I generate a lot of this stuff. And if you enjoy these kind of videos where we have a lot of fun with this, be sure to throw a thumbs up on it, give it a like. Also subscribe if you haven't, doesn't cost you anything. And you can hit that bell when I put out any of this content, you get an alert for it. But we wanted to do this and we called it out. We told everybody like, hey, put your nominations in. We have a system on how we do it. Evergreen is great with that. Peace is great with that. I run it with Davor and that's how I do this thing. And so this was the announcement that went out. We do it for all the different categories. And we're also going to do 2 different lists for each category because we want to do one versus the rallies and one versus the swarms. And that's how we set this thing up. Okay, so you're going to see some of the craziest stuff you've seen. You're going to see some of the craziest armaments. Any of these players that puts a garrison captain in any structure in your kingdom or in your coalition or in your camp, go join that garrison. Trust me. So how we did this was I got with my boy Davor, right? Davor's got his tool. I'll also have that link down in the description. His toolbox is phenomenal. He does a whole interface when it comes to the tool that he uses to project the score that people get. You have a whole section here where he goes through everything. And then also here is the interface. All right. You can put all the details you want in here and then it kicks out different scores. Okay. And so from there, that's how we do this calculator like we did it for rallies. So our boy Davor always cooking with the stats. Probably the most brilliant guy I've seen. There's great ones out there. Billick's off the charts, and there's others out there that are great with some of these stats, but Davor's tools are incredible. So got to give him a lot of credit for helping us with this, okay? So, with that being said, it's the Infantry Garrison, right? Infantry is always known to have the best garrisons over the course of the last 6-7 years in the game. That's just the way it's been, okay? And the Pincer Formation is off the charts, guys. It is absolutely off the charts with what it does and how it does it. And now that we have multiple commanders to run with Gorgo, okay, and you don't have to makeshift something with Gorgo Hera or hopefully maybe an artifact KVK where you run Gorgo with Attila or something. But now we've got Tokugawa, the fat man, and we've also got Hector, who is now part of the meta as well. And so with these commanders that we have, it works out really, really well to say, okay, now the Pincer is in full force. Now you have 2 smite commanders that are running as a march, as a garrison captain in your structure, and you can get the full benefit of the Pincer. So with that, I'm going to put out a top 10 list, okay? So everybody understands we're going to go through this by top 10. And then I'm going to highlight the top 5. Okay, so here we go. You guys ready for this? These are the best garrisons against rallies. Okay, taking a rally, this is the best of the best, and here it is. All right, you can see all different types of players here. We'll talk about them all. Okay, Ostfries, I think that's how we pronounce the name, in 1281. He's got cracked gear, really good armaments, but you can kind of see it looks the exact same as the Quacken in number 9, but through the decimal points, he's just one decimal point behind in the total score. I score the gear, armaments, and then total. So as you see, everybody's got the same gear when it comes to the points of the gear. All right, and this is just maxed out gear. Okay, because all these amazing Garrison players have maxed out gear. The armaments is where there's a difference, okay? And we'll get into that because there's something on here that'll kind of blow your mind when it comes to how a double inscription with a rare might do extremely well. So that's who you have in 10th place. DeQuacken up in 2194. I fought against him. I rallied him. Crazy good Garrison, okay? And he's in 9th. Mr. Nobody in 3099 comes in at number 8, and then you got Katana in 2293. Katana's a new player to 2293. Of course, you might see multiple 2293 players during this whole series because you got Mori there, right? You got Sasuke there. You got people there that they run defense, man. I know that. That's one of my OG homes and one of the places that I call home for years and years is 2293, and those guys play defensively. Katana obviously adds to that with their Garrison. Then you've got Marcus in 1079. He was in the KVK I was just in, running his Garrison all over the place, all right? Then you get into the top 5. With Belgarath and 2889, you might see Belgarath on multiple lists because they've got all kinds of stuff. Casso, my guy, 1660. 1660's got a crazy strife team too. You guys go look at some of the high power strife teams. 1660's rolling in that. Then you've got Papa Ski in 3rd. That's one of my 300 members. Papa Ski has got crazy stuff for their Garrison. And then Wiser, okay? This one is gonna be the most unique, and I'll show you when we get to it in 21-23, and then there's the top. That's Maximus. He is the perennial champion. He was the best in the Pincer Rallies Best of the Best series we did a few months ago, and now he still holds claim. His armaments obviously upgraded in their stats, but he's got one of the most unique double inscriptions that sets him apart, and I'll go through all that, okay? So let's go through the top 5. Congratulations to all 10 of these players. There were like literally over 60, I think, nominations for the Pincer Garrisons, and they're all cracked. They're all great, but these are the top 10. So at number 5, Belgarath, okay? Now, when you see Belgarath, you might see Belgarath on 2 different lists, but this is what they've got. Cracked gear, of course, and then they've got a double inscription with the 4 specials. You add Hardy to that, then they've got good rolls on your attack and defense at 11.5, really a great roll on your defense at 20.4. Then the health is averaging out to be over 3% for each slot because there's only 3 slots there because you can see they have an all damage of 2%. That's maxed out. So you put it all together, and trust me, guys, Belgarath puts a captain in a Garrison, go get in the Garrison. You're going to get some KP. And so that is our player at the number 5 spot. Number 4, we talked about it. Casso, man, this guy has got some crazy stuff as well. But more importantly, it is the rolls, okay? 12.5% attack, a really good A+ roll there. 11.2% defense, not amazing. It's really, really good, but it's not like the best you're going to see. However, 7.7% damage, that's like one of the best I've ever seen in a Garrison or a Rally or on any armament. That's basically taking all 4 slots and averaging out 1.925. So basically maxing out every slot with all damage at 7.7%. Just absolutely crazy with Casso in the number 4 spot. The number 3 spot we talked about with Papaski. This guy's got crazy rolls. 12.9% attack. Really, really good rolls there. 11.8% defense. His health average is almost 3.3% on the 3 slots he's got that for. And then he's got almost a max roll on his all damage with 1.9%. Now you got to remember, all damage is incredible. And when it comes to infantry, health is also really, really good. So having high health with a little bit of all damage really pumps your score up pretty high. Okay, so that's our boy Papaski in the number 3 slot. Okay, now this one is going to surprise you, and I'm going to go through it. Okay, this is Wiser. All right, you might look at this and say, oh my gosh, he's only got 3 special inscriptions, Chatsky. Like, how is he ranked so high? Well, first of all, his gear's cracked. All right, gear's amazing, but on the armaments, there are 2 spots on the armaments. There are 2 things with the armaments of Pincer that If you can get a double, it's absolutely broken, okay? First and foremost is the uplifting. That is the best double you can get. All right. Well, he's got Raider. He doesn't have Demolisher, right? And getting Demolisher with uplifting is like the most broken armament ever for Smite Garrisons and Rallies. Okay. And we might see one of those later on. However, our boy Wiser has Raider, which is a good rare inscription. It doesn't compare to Demolisher. Demolisher is just awesome. But you attach that to an uplifting double, 5% normal damage. Now, it doesn't take very long to get this thing to ramp up, especially in a rally or a garrison. 5% normal damage is like 5% all damage. It is crazy. And so that is why Wiser ranks so high in this. In addition to that, okay, I'll come over here to the flag slot. The other one that's really, really good, obviously, for any kind of double is to get assertive. The reason why you don't see a whole lot of special inscriptions with a double of assertive is when it's on the flag slot, you have to get this in the courier shop. So this is an armament that you can get with airtight, then you go apply it. Well, when you apply an armament or an inscription to an armament, you're taking away any doubles, any inscription that armament has. That's why people don't have airtight with assertive. It's just impossible to get. It's just 2% all damage. But again, this is on the map, not for garrisons, okay? The other one besides the one we talked about with uplifting, right here, man, it is Smite. 2% more normal damage of all types. That is like 2% all damage. 2% all damage for the Rallies and Garrisons. If you can get Thundering with Smite, it is off the charts, okay? And that's what our boy has. If you look at this, he's got Thundering with Smite. Then he's got Raider. Even though it's a rare, he pairs that with uplifting. Just absolutely cracked. And then his rolls are really, really good. 12.1% on attack, 11.6% on defense, and 9.8% on the health, with 2% maxed out on the all damage. Just crazy stuff. And I know it's unique, but people who understand, people who know combo, and people who especially know Smite, you infantry players out there know that if you could ever get a rare with uplifting double, or gosh, a Demolisher with uplifting, you know that that's cracked. You know it's amazing, okay? And so there's Wiser in our number 2 spot, okay? Only if somebody had a Demolisher with uplifting. Well, there you go. And that's why Maximus is the perennial champion. Look at this guy. He has got the Demolisher with uplifting that gives him so many points when we're calculating this out. Okay, so when you see that, his rolls are really good. 11.8% attack, 12.3% defense. He has 6.6% health, good rolls on the 2 slots he has for health, and then a 3.7 on his all damage. But that uplifting, guys, just makes it so broken. Okay, and so Maximus takes the mantle again. He increased and upgraded his stats from the old Best of the Best series with the Pincer Rallies, and he's the best, guys. He's the only player I've ever seen that has a Demolisher with uplifting. If you know of anybody who also has that, put it down in the comments or go into my Discord and let me know about it. Just absolutely crazy. So there it is. There's your top 10 Pincer Infantry Garrisons versus Rallies, okay? You can take a look at that. I'll have this in my Discord. Let the discussion start, okay? Well, the other side of this is that swarming is such a big deal. All right, and luckily, our girl, Gorgo here, has plenty of normal damage to kick back some counterattack and to be anti-swarm, okay? With that being said, let's look at the swarm list. Here we go. Okay. First and foremost, you're going to see some names on this list you might have saw on the other list, but this is strictly for swarms, right? And a lot of these players have greatest glory. You'll see some players that might not have quite the greatest glory that's going to give them, or the Book of Vengeance that's going to give them the max score. However, they've got crazy armaments. And number 10, you can see that with Teddy in 1383. Okay, really good score on his armaments that carries the fact that he does not have the greatest glory. And so from that standpoint, a guy like that with the armaments is able to crack the top 10. You see Sasuke, number 9. He is in 2293, of course, known as a very defensive kingdom. You saw Katana over in the other list. You're probably going to see Mori when it comes to the arch formation stuff. Mori's the king of 2293. Like I said, one of my homes and a really good defensive kingdom. So no surprise that you got players here that are in the Garrison meta. As far as players go, when it comes to 2293, there's Papaski. You saw him in the other list. He ranks in and clocks in at number 8. Mr. Nobody, again, he manages to reach both lists at number 7. There's Maximus. Now, Maximus does not have a Book of Vengeance or Greatest Glory. Okay, so even with the Horn, and as we all know, the Horn is not ideal when it comes to getting swarmed. It doesn't do anything for you because you're maxing out your rage anyways. Maximus armaments still carry him because they're so freaking good. And then you've got Marcus in 1079. Let's go. As we talked about, you've got Rogue in 2695 in our top 5. And then also Zenwo in 1234. And then Belgarath also in the top 5 of this one. And then there's our winner, Baka Itachi. Baka Itachi I fought with in 606. Extremely good Garrison, especially against the Swarm. You'll find out why. Crazy amounts of all damage, all right, which is really good against the Swarm. And now they're in 365 and cooking over there. So with that, let's go into that top 5 and take a look here. All right, we got Marcus in 1079, of course. He's got a double. You can see there. Of course, you can see the Greatest Glory he's got that scores really well against the Swarm. He's got a double with Pacifier. Well, that doesn't do anything. The double with Pacifier doesn't do anything because we're in that situation to where where Pacifier is a barbarian inscription. So the double for that really does not mean anything. Okay. Oh man, this guy Zenwo is one of these guys that really surprised me, kind of came out of nowhere. You can see their stats they've got on their armaments: 13.1% attack, 11.4% defense, 3% health, and 5.7% all damage. Really, really potent and really, really good. And the number 3 spot, there's Rogue in 2695. Now Rogue has got the Desperado, which is really good. We talked about the Desperado being a double inscription on the rally side, and it works out really, really well because once you hit a certain low amount of HP or troops in your march, you start mitigating more damage along with a ton of health. This is a very good, tanky, sustainable situation with what Rogue has in that number 3 slot. Number 2, Belgarath. Same thing Belgarath had. Now you apply the Greatest Glory to it, adds the Hardy to it, and it is really, really good. And then last but not least, it's our boy Baka. And it's because of this all damage that he ranks so freaking high. And so from there, that's why you see that score that he has when it comes to the number 1 slot. I wish we would have jumped in more flags that he was in, or he would have garrisoned more. But from the standpoint of being able to punish swarmers and to have a really good anti-swarm situation set up for your garrison, that is obviously one of those. The Baka Itachi finishes very, very high, 12.1% attack, 12.5% defense, and then a high all damage setup of 7.4%. So that is your swarm category. And so you've got the rallies over here, you got the swarms over here. I'll put it in the Discord, and I want to get your comments down in the comment section of YouTube. If you guys enjoyed this video, throw a thumbs up on here. Don't forget to consider subscribing. Like we said, does not cost you anything. Also, you can get involved in these conversations, or when I put up any of these types of contests or different things I love to do within the community. And like I said, you can always join my Discord. Of course, that link is in the description when I do these types of announcements to get nominations. We're going to go on to the arch formation stuff in the next video, and then we'll get into calves, and then we'll get into archers. So it's the best of the best series. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and with that, we hope you guys have a great day, broskies.